Business owners in the Keys making their way back home now. Many of them being warned, though, that the area is not the same as when they left.
The city's only half up and running, so you put that many more people on the street, and they're trying to get back to jobs that aren't available for them right now. So that's kind of a tough thing to do.
Key West and Marathon suffered some of the worst flooding and wind damage in that area. Praying for all that damage, paying for it rather, could get pretty expensive. Former State Senate President Mike Karadopoulos is back with us right now to talk about who is actually going to be footing the bill for all of this. Good to see you again, Mike. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Amy.
So let's talk first about where the money comes from to help FEMA to pay the damage. Obviously, there was concern after Harvey hit about there being enough money, and now we have Irma.
No, it's a real concern. As you know, the federal government is seriously in debt each year and overall a very bad situation. But the federal government is stepping up. As you know, with the help of Rick Scott and the president, they made sure that disaster area funding was made available to not only the state but to local communities as well. If you haven't noticed also, if your tax return was due on September 15th, if you file for the extension, that extension has been put out to January as well. But as far as paying for this is going to be a big bill for not only the United States government, for the state government as well. We will see some additional revenues coming in because of the storm preparation, and of course the fixing ups that can take place, the sales tax and so forth. But the overall bill to the state will probably be between $200 and $300 million after you add them all up.
So we remember after Hurricane Charlie, Francis Jean came through, Citizens Insurance was having some major issues as far as having enough money. Can we expect insurance premiums to go up, do you think, Mike?
Well, the first and foremost, the good thing is they've frozen the insurance rates. The governor has, the CFO, Petronas, has frozen insurance rates for 90 days so that nothing could change at that point. But to your point, the CAT fund, which basically funds Citizens Insurance, has built up over the last 10 years since the major storms approximately 10 years ago. So we do have the surplus there to cover a lot of these costs. The federal government will also come in and help with the flood issue as well. But in general, I think you're going to see some increases in rates just because of the catastrophic damage, especially down in South Florida and especially there in the Keys, which is just heartbreaking.
Mike, what do you want the people of Florida and Central Florida specifically to know? Because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm probably not eligible, or, you know, there's always those few who think, I'm not even going to bother with that.
No, I think you should definitely investigate this. I had a friend just last night tell me about how they had the flood insurance. They had a lot of damage. The deductible is quite low. So in the flood insurance side, the deductible is low. For your home insurance, it's usually about 2%. So that's a pretty big hit should you be damaged through the hurricane damage. But beyond that, the best thing to do is call the CFO's office, Jimmy Petronas, the new CFO of the state of Florida. He will be the one to make sure his office walks you through all the possibilities, whether it be for state funding or, of course, federal funding as well.
Right. Yeah. And FEMA says everybody's eligible, but so it doesn't hurt to call and ask. It doesn't hurt to fill out an application for sure. Okay. Always great to see you. Thank you so much, Mike, for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Amy. Have a great week.
You too.